This meeting of Independent School District 535 School Board is called to order at 7:10 p.m. Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, virtually in room 137 of the Edison Building, with participants participating electronically in accordance with Minnesota Statute 13D.021 until further notice. Members of the public are currently not permitted to attend these meetings physically due to COVID-19 pandemic recommendations. Interested members of the public are welcome and encouraged to view this meeting remotely at youtube.com/ISD535, where the live stream video may be found. Present at this meeting are school board members and Superintendent Mr. Michael Munoz. Also present is Ms. Michelle Severson, the Assistant Board Clerk. Ms. Severson, would you please call the roll?
Thank you. Clerk Emonson.
Here.
Director Barlow.
Here.
Director Garcia.
Here.
Director McLaughlin.
Here.
Chair Marvin.
Here.
Vice Chair Nathan.
Here.
Treasurer Workman.
Here.
Thank you.
2.01, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Hearing none.
Move approval.
Move approval.
Then,
Second.
thank you. Moved by Ms. Amundson and seconded by Mr. Barlow. Ms. Severson, would you call the roll?
Thank you. Clerk Emonson.
Aye.
Director Barlow.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Chair Marvin.
Here.
Director McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Chair Nathan.
Aye.
Treasurer Workman.
Aye.
Thank you. Will someone tell me if you are also hearing that screeching sound? Oh, good. For a minute there,
Yes.
I thought it wandered into the twilight zone or something. 3.01, this is an announcement. The next scheduled school board regular meeting will be January 19th at 5:30 p.m. 7.01, ad hoc calendar committee. This is a briefing item. As you know, the board has been focusing on governance, and there was a discussion, lengthy discussion, about creating a year-long calendar where we could include information including budget study sessions, superintendent and board evaluations, protocol review, and other governance issues. It is a briefing item, and I'm hoping that at tonight's meeting we can vote whether to approve it or not. Anyone want to speak to making it an action item?
I'd like to move to action.
Second.
Thank you. Move to action, Nathan. Seconded, Amundson. Any discussion about moving this to action? Ms. Severson, roll call vote.
Clerk Amundson.
Aye.
Director Barlow.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Chair Marvin.
Aye.
Director McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Chair Nathan.
Aye.
And Treasurer Workman.
Aye.
Thank you.
I will read the resolution. Be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 535 does hereby approve the establishment of an ad hoc calendar committee and charge statement.
Move approval. Amundson. Second. Workman.
It's been moved and seconded by Amundson and Workman. Ms. Severson.
Thank you. Clerk Emonson.
Aye.
Director Barlow.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Chair Marvin.
Aye.
Director McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Chair Nathan,
Aye.
and Treasurer Workman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Wow, that was good. Painful, but good.
Chair Marvin,
Yes.
as the charge statement doesn't specify specifically which three board members are going to serve, do you have a notion about how that might happen?
Yes, I do. And thank you for that. If you would be interested in serving on that committee, and again, it's specified for 3 members, I'd be happy to have you send your name to me, and then depending on the number we get, we can discuss that as a board and make that decision. But why don't you just submit your name to me sometime in the next week or two? Well, actually, sometime in the next week would be great. Thank you. 7.02, approval of revisions to the policies and procedures manual. This is a briefing item. We will not be voting on it this evening because we need to have at least a week between the briefing of policies and the approval of them. Turn this over to Vice Chair Nathan.
So Director Workman and I are going to read a summary of the policies that are being briefed tonight, and I believe Director Workman is up first and is on mute.
At least I didn't get too far into it before you told me I was on mute, so thank you for that. Okay, so the first number of policies are those that we reviewed where we also recommended changes. Policy 711, video recording on school buses. Every school bus employed by the school district will be equipped with a box for placement and operation of a video camera and a sign notifying riders that their conversations or actions may be recorded on tape. We removed the reference to tape being used for recordings. Policy 801, equal access to school facilities. The Equal Access Act grants equal access to secondary school facilities for students who wish to conduct a meeting for religious, political, or philosophical purposes during non-instructional time. Rules for student groups are included. In section B2, we added that images of the school may not be used to imply district sponsorship. Policy 805, waste reduction and recycling. This policy establishes a resource recovery program to comply with state laws relation to waste management and to make resource conservation an integral part of physical operation of the school district. We eliminated the reference to resource management curriculum as part of the program. Policy 806, crisis management. This policy contains guidance about how to address a wide range of potential crisis situations in the school district. We changed the reference that this policy will be placed into the Rules, Rights, and Regulations book to Student Handbook. Policy 810, employee keys and identification changes. Guidelines to establish a safe and secure learning and working environment for those needing access. We changed the title procedure to process. Policy 902, use of facilities and equipment. These are guidelines for the district facilities and equipment by the community. The Community Education Department handles these requests. We removed, upon approval by the school board, such procedures shall be an addendum to this policy, because the board is not involved in the day-to-day management of facilities. So the next group of policies are policies we reviewed where there were no changes recommended. Policy 708, transportation of non-public school students. This policy recognizes the rights of non-public school students and provides equal transportation to those students as required by law. Policy 709, student transportation safety. Riding a school bus is a privilege, not a right. The school district provides safe transportation for students and educates students on safety issues and the responsibility of school bus ridership. Policy 710, no changes in this one either. Extracurricular transportation. The school district has the sole right to make decisions about whether to provide transportation and charge fees to and from extracurricular events. And Vice Chair Nathan will take over from here.
So we're continuing with the list of policies where no changes were made. Policy 712, video surveillance other than on buses. Video electronic surveillance systems used to monitor activity on school property will protect the health, welfare, and safety of students, staff, and visitors on the property. This policy describes the placement, use, and maintenance of these systems. Policy 713, student activity accounts. This policy ensures maximum accountability by the school board for public funds and student activity funds. Policy 714, fund balances. This policy creates new fund balance classifications to allow for more useful fund balance reporting and guidelines compliance. 730, student nutrition services. This policy provides guidelines for a nutritional food services program in the school district and includes guidelines for home prepared foods, potluck events, and the use of school kitchens. The procedure section has been placed in the procedures manual in board docs, but does not change the content of the policy. 740, indemnification of district and employees against legal action. The school district protects employees against legal actions when they are faithfully performing their duties and to protect the district operations from legal actions as a result of unlawful acts of an employee. 750, debt management. The district establishes and maintains well-defined guidelines and authority for the issuance and management of school district debt obligations. 807, health and safety. The district provides a safe, healthy environment for all who enter school district building and grounds. 901, community education. Expresses a commitment to community education programs and the guidelines for using district buildings when not being used for regularly scheduled district programs. 903, visitors to school district building and sites. Describes that the school district welcomes visits to district buildings that are consistent with the health, education, and safety of students and employees. Visitors must report to the principal's or building manager's office upon entry. 905, advertising and sponsorships. Guidelines for advertising or promoting products or services to students and parents or guardians on school property. And 906, community notification of predatory offenders. Staff receive information about known predatory offenders moving into the district. And those are our briefing items.
Thank you. And are there any questions for either Ms. Nathan or Ms. Workman? Thank you very much. We're moving on to 7.03. This is an amendment to the resolution adopted 11/17/20, the bell time study. This is a briefing item. To be clear, we will not be discussing the merits of changing the bell times. That has been decided and determined that we would adopt the start and end times that have been addressed. This is strictly a discussion about whether to begin that implementation in the 2021-20 next school year rather than in the 2022-23 school year, which is what we voted on in November. Ms. McLaughlin, you brought this amendment. Would you like to speak to it, please?
I would, Chair Marvin, thank you. I want to be very clear from the beginning that it is definitely not my intent here to set any sort of precedent for any other sort of decisions that have been previously made by the board. As a practicing attorney, the issue of precedent is really, really important to me and the job that I do. So I'm very conscious of that and want to make sure that I'm not opening the floodgates to reviewing other decisions or broader decisions than what I'm asking the board to do tonight. So as Chair Marvin already indicated, my resolution that I'm proposing here has a very limited scope. It's a motion to amend simply the start date of the final resolution that was passed on November 17th of 2020 by the school board. It would be amending the date in that final resolution from 2022-23 to 2021-22, meaning next school year. One of my reasons for bringing this resolution is that it does return the resolution to the original resolution that was presented to the board that evening. One of my concerns is that with the amendment that was made to delay that start date as an amendment, the board didn't have the full benefit of having community input into the decision that was being made by amendment to delay the bell time study and the change in the bell time for another year. One of my reasons for bringing the resolution today is that this has been, as everyone likely knows, this has been an issue that's been discussed for years and years, debated over the last, I would estimate about 2 years by the school board. And I think it's really, really important to the community to implement this change sooner rather than later. And the reason I say that is that the benefit to the secondary students, that I know that we're all in the pandemic and clearly are addressing that, but I also try to look to any positives in a very difficult situation. And I see the change in the start time for the secondary students during distance learning and during the COVID pandemic as one of the few positives that has come out of that learning model. Is starting at the 8:25 rather than the earlier times has given our secondary students more time to sleep and according to their biological clocks rather than a bell time in their school buildings. So those are the reasons that I'm bringing this tonight. I'm hoping we can have a discussion simply about modifying the time to start this change to be next school year, primarily so that the secondary students don't have to go from where they've been this year back to an earlier time and then back to a later time the following year. I think it's just best for students and their parents, and I really think that particularly the secondary students in their learning environment, but also that this is something that's been really, really desired by our community for a long period of time, and I think just the sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin, and thank you too for mentioning that you do not intend this to be the type of thing that will set precedent for rethinking every resolution that we do. I think that's a really important point and appreciate that. Mr. Munoz, do you have a statement on in terms of what the administration is thinking about this?
No, I guess we just, if the board is going to change the implementation date, then the sooner that is decided, the better, so we can get to work on setting up the transportation for next school year. I do have our transportation director here if there's any specific questions that need to be directed to him.
Thank you. Ms. Workman. Ms. Workman.
Wow. Okay. When we first got this resolution in the original form, that was the recommendation by administration to start the changed bell time this coming school year.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say more. I mean, right to the point. Thank you. Dr. Garcia.
I would like to support, I suppose, my colleague, Director McLaughlin. I think that the points that she laid out are appropriate, and as Director Workman also pointed out, that this was the original resolution date. So I guess I just want to throw my voice in the ring. We don't need to rehash all of the data, except as a mental health professional, that is something that I was pleased to see the start times adjusted, and a little disappointed that it had been put off for the next year. So I think that this is a good move, or would be a good move for the board.
Thank you. And Mr. Barlow.
Yes, I was one of the 4 board members that voted to have this implemented during school year 22-23. And the thought was to avoid changing back-to-back years, not only in terms of schedule, what time the kids would go to school, but in terms of boundaries. But I support the recommendation. It is true that the original resolution did call for implementation of school year 2021, and our community, our students, parents have been through a lot, and I think we are hearing them, okay, and I think we agree that where we're able and where it is not an issue of safety, I think this is something that we can act upon, and to do so in good conscience. So I support the recommended change.
Thank you. And I think we'll hear from Ms. Nathan, Ms. Amundson, and then sense I'm getting is that we will be ready to move this to action, perhaps. Ms. Nathan.
I want to give Melissa the option to go first because I think her hand was up.
Oh, sorry. I have trouble keeping track of hands.
I don't mind so much. I just wanted to jump in and support what Director McLaughlin said about having had time to get more family input. And I wanted to point out that we did hear from a number of parents after the decision was made that was strongly in support of moving the changes ahead to this coming fall, largely because of the distance learning and that schedule being pushed back for the benefit of the teenagers. And people are seeing the benefits now and feel strongly. And, you know, again, we don't want to go back and reverse decisions that have been made without really good reason, and I think that's one of them. So.
Thank you for that. Ms. Nathan.
So I can't disagree with anything that anyone has said. I appreciate the superintendent making it clear that this is possible, because that was one of the concerns I had from the original conversation. But with that pathway being cleared, and with my non-scientific survey of the high school students that I am advisor to, and have early morning Zoom meetings with now, I know that they would appreciate being able to continue the benefits of what they're experiencing now with the later start time of the day beginning next year. So thank you, Director McLaughlin, for making this possible.
And Ms. Workman, and then Dr. Garcia. No, not just Dr. Garcia, but Dr. Garcia, you're on.
My apologies. I think it was in anticipation of wanting to motion to move to action.
Oh, and I just heard it move to action. Excellent. Is there a second?
Second, Amundson.
Okay, we actually have 2 seconds. Garcia moves to action, Amundson seconds, and Workman seconds, Amundson's second. Any discussion? Ms. Severson, roll call vote.
Thank you. Clerk Amundson.
Aye.
Director Barlow.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Chair Marvin.
Aye.
Director McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Chair Nathan.
Aye.
Treasurer Workman.
Aye.
Congratulations and thank you very much.
This is now an action item, and the resolution which anybody out there wants to correct it a little bit, this is, I think, what it needs to be. Be it resolved, the School Board of Independent School District 535 approves amending the resolution adopted November 17th, 1920 bell time study to be implemented for the 2021-2022 school year.
Move for approval.
Second, Garcia.
Okay, it's been moved by Barlow and seconded by Garcia. Ms. Severson, roll call vote, please.
Clerk Amundson,
Aye.
Director Barlow,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Chair Marvin,
Aye.
Director McLaughlin,
Aye.
Vice Chair Nathan,
Aye.
Treasurer Workman.
Aye.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that's how we get things done. Now, I will adjourn this meeting at 7:36 p.m. Good work.